I think we've all heard of the 800-pound monkey in the room. In our space, that monkey's name is addiction. We've all heard the expression, got a monkey on my back. Sometimes these monkeys are referred to the things that hang on to us that are not helping us much. Almost every addiction is considered to be a monkey on your back. And that got me to thinking about, since our main problem is this carbohydrate or sugar addiction, I think, and I don't know if this is something to be proud of, but I think that our monkey is bigger than everybody else's monkey. Have you ever noticed, not only in yourself, but just looking around, that most diets fail? And I'm not just talking about carnivore. I'm talking about any kind of a diet, and there are hundreds of different ones that include exercise programs, calorie restriction, the strangest diets you've ever heard, including the strangest of all, according to most people, the carnivore diet, where you eat nothing but meat, no plants, no fiber, none of the things that are supposedly good for you and healthy. And yet, a hard look at the diet failure statistics tells the whole story. So why is it? Why is it? And why aren't more people talking about the real reason why every diet fails? Let's read. It says, if every other person you know, including yourself, has tried your diet, you're not wrong. 42% are actively trying to lose weight, not have tried in the past or are thinking about it in the future. Rather, nearly half of all adults are trying to shed pounds right this minute. It's staggering to find out that the overwhelming majority of diets end in failure. Depending on the numbers and source, either 1/3 of dieters return to their old weight. That's as many as 65% do. How many diets fail and by how much? One of the most common measuring sticks for a diet failing is weight regain after a certain period of time. It says here, in less than 2 years, 23% of people gain more weight than they lost. More than 2 years after dieting, 83% gain more than they lost. A final study followed up on dieters after 5 years, and 50% of them were 11 pounds over their initial weight. It says here why diets fail. Some diets fail because they are inherently ineffective. Some fail because of individual factors. The average diet for a woman lasts 4 weeks. What do you suppose knocks these women off their diet? I posit it's overwhelming cravings caused by their food addiction. The average diet for men lasts only 6 weeks. And again, what do you suppose knocks these men off their diet? I posit it's the overwhelming cravings caused by their food, their carbohydrate addiction. Diets where people are told not to eat a certain food increase overeating that food by 133%. That's true. Your subconscious mind knows what it wants. Your conscious mind telling your subconscious you can't eat that is a wasted exercise. Your subconscious mind says, you think? Well, I'll show you. I'm going to give you cravings so strong you can't resist. Some diets fail because of the misunderstanding of changes to the body. For every kilogram, that's 2.2 pounds of weight lost, calories spent by the body decreases 20 kilocalories a day, but appetite increases by 100 kilocalories a day. Absolutely, this shows you why you cannot lose weight or sustain a diet by limiting your caloric input and relying on your willpower. It does not work, has been proven time and time again. Yet in the medical community these days, they still harp on this eat less, move more nonsense, which is responsible for these statistics we're talking about. Calorie intake can fluctuate by 20 to 30%, sending mixed signals to the brain about appetite. Eating only an extra 100 calories a day more after dieting can result in a substantial weight gain. Now, there's two things in that sentence. Number one is the term after dieting, and that's another problem. There's no such thing as a diet. There's only such thing as a lifestyle. If you go on a diet with the intention that it's a temporary thing that you only have to do for a while and it will end, you're screwed. I'm sorry. It will not work. Which is why after a lifetime of this so-called being on a diet for me, I'm here. I'm on YouTube. I'm harping about this because the miracle of this discovery for me that this lifestyle takes away all of the detriments and the pitfalls of these so-called other diets and leaves me with a sustainable lifestyle where I don't feel deprived. I don't feel like this is going to end. I want it to continue because I am satisfied, satiated all the time, not hungry, not craving anything, and loving the food freedom that this diet gives me. So there's no doubt that most diets fail. It's not hard to convince anybody. Just think about your own experiences and people you know. Diets fail. They tell you it's your fault. It's your fault. You were weak. You didn't have enough willpower. You didn't move enough. You didn't exercise enough. We, the medical community with the big brains, we told you what you needed to do and you failed. You are weak. And then you turn around and you look at the people in the medical community, the doctors, the nurses, the orderlies, the dietitians, and they're all fat and sick. Something doesn't add up here. And what doesn't add up has been the greatest discovery, not only of my life, but everybody else who has finally allowed a little reality to enter the conversation about weight loss, curing chronic conditions, and health. 2 years ago, I gave up the last vestiges of carbohydrates as a severe carbohydrate addict. and that. And it wasn't until that where I was finally able to get that monkey off of my back. I have 300 videos on my channel since I turned it from a drone channel into a carnivore channel. 300 videos. In those 300 videos, I have shared every aspect of my life, my history. I've exposed private and personal things about business failures, diet failures, health problems, depression. I have recorded many videos about how I discovered the ability to overcome a severe carb addiction. How I finally realized that that is the problem. That's your problem, most likely. That's the reason the food companies have their hooks in you. They have you addicted stronger than the alcohol manufacturers have the alcoholics addicted, stronger than the cigarette and tobacco companies have the smokers addicted, stronger than the street corner drug dealers have the cocaine, heroin, and crack addicts addicted. You, my friends, are at the top of the addict list. And in some of my videos, I tell you why. Problem is, so many people come and go, as shown by the statistics. And those include the carnivore too. So after 4 weeks, most people that start this diet are done. They can't fight the addictions because they don't realize that it is these addictions that are steering them off the course, even though they think they have willpower and they want to succeed. I think more and more of those of us who are trying to expose all of the propaganda and corruption that has led to this miserable state of nutrition that our world finds itself in, until more and more of us keep driving this point that it's addiction, stupid. It's not what you're eating. It's not when you're eating, although that matters. It's not how much you exercise. It's not any of those things. It's that monkey on your back called addiction. And if you're a carb addict, and there's at least an 80 to 90% chance that you are, whether you admit it to yourself or not, whether you buy into what I'm saying or not, until you take the steps necessary to allow you to stomp out that addiction, you can't succeed. I have videos that talk about how to get started on the carnivore diet, the most important things to do in the first 30 days of a carnivore diet, how to control your addictions, how to handle the psychological effects of disappointing trips to the bathroom scale, how to handle the changes that are going to happen, some of them unpleasant to your body as you go from sugar to fat adapted. All of these things I talk and talk about till I'm blue on the face, and yet the old guard, so many of my old subscribers have failed. The monkey won, and they're gone, and every week an entire new crop of subscribers comes along who haven't seen any of that stuff, are looking for the quick one-shot answer. And I keep harping the same old message. It's the addiction, stupid. So if you get that through your head and start researching based on the fact that you finally know that the reason you cannot resist those cravings and you mindlessly end up binging and off your diet yet again, if you cannot accept that fact, admit it to yourself, and believe it, you won't be able to start doing the things, following the few simple rules that I put out to make the cravings minimized to a point where they're not hard to overcome. It's how I did it. It's how, almost 2 years later, I weigh 138 pounds. I'm healthier than I've ever been in my life. I eat like a horse. I never gain any weight. I'm never hungry, and I have zero cravings, and you could drop me into an ice cream factory and I would head for the door. There's nothing there for me anymore. If I accomplish nothing more in this video, it is for you to look inside with some introspection and consider the point that I'm trying to make. You cannot live with that monkey. You cannot coexist with that monkey. You can't make deals or negotiate with that monkey. The only way to succeed and be healthy for the rest of your life is get rid of it. Let me tell you how. That's why I'm doing this. Well, after all that, I would be remiss without a little shameless plug for my channel. If you've been with me a while, or if you're new and you appreciate the work that I do, you can show your appreciation in a couple of different ways. One, buy me a coffee. Links in the description below. Or use my Amazon links when you want to buy some stuff that I use in making those videos. That helps support my efforts, allows me to do this full time, and continue to try to help you. Take the rest of the day off and eat meat.